I was attacked by a bunch of fucking finance nerds. What's up, guys? Yes, it's true. I was attacked by a bunch of finance nerds. If you guys watched my video last week, I touched a little bit about the investing myth, why you will never get rich at a young age from investing. I posted a clip of that video on my TikTok and a bunch of finance nerds went crazy. All of a sudden, everyone was a professional financial analyst. People that were broke were acting like they knew everything about money, that they were Warren Buffett. They started using examples. They started throwing stuff around like, well, my great
Mima's dog became a millionaire at a young age from investing. Blah, 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 blah.
People started talking about this is why you're broke. I have a green screen as a house. Now I'm broke. So today's video, I'm gonna touch on the investing myth. I'm really gonna dig deep. Why you will never become rich from investing. So investing nerds, this one's for you. Quick disclaimer, I'm not saying investing will never make you rich. I'm saying it will never make you rich at a young age. I think investing personally is a great tool to keep your money, to diversify your money, and also it's a great way to get rich safe and easy. The only issue is when it's safe and easy, it doesn't happen at a young age. I'm not saying investing is bad. I'm just saying for the purpose of this video and to clear the air on what investing actually is and how to get rich at a young age, investing is not your tool to do that. If you want to be rich at a young age, you have to do it through an active income or a business, not through investing. So starting off, I want to address the misconception. I want to teach you guys the difference between investing versus what it actually is, and the difference between that and an active income, which is what I tell people to do. So when I say investing, I'm talking about what you traditionally hear when people talk about finances. They use buzzwords like compound interest and it gets everyone fucking wet. Investing is when you put money in a stock market and you set it and forget it. You put money in cryptocurrency, you set it and forget it. You invest in a house and wait for it to appreciate. That is what investing is, long-term investing. And what people think about when they hear investing, oh, he's an investor. He bought into a company when it was really young, waited 10 years, and then the company became $1 billion. That's what I mean when I say investing. And that's traditionally what people think when they hear investing. Now, this is not investing because I saw a lot of misconceptions online and they were commenting, oh, what about this guy or this guy? He got rich. My great uncle's dog did this and got rich. Investing and an active income are not the same. Here's the difference between them. When someone says, hey, I'm a real estate investor, unless they are buying the houses or properties and keeping them for a long time, they're not investing. The most young people you meet that have made millions off of real estate are doing it as an active income, meaning they're buying houses and they're flipping them. They're buying commercial units, which still require a lot of money. They're raising money for it and they're using it as passive income. So the difference between investing and an active income, where you're doing something actively to make that money grow very, very quickly. Whereas an investment in a stock portfolio might take a year to grow 30%. You have day traders, which are not investors. Again, let me make this clear and anyone will agree with me. Day traders are not investors. Even Warren Buffett says this and he's the king of investing. Day traders are not investors. They have an active income. What they're doing is they're finding stocks, they're purchasing them, and they're selling them within a short term. They might buy it today, sell it tomorrow. They might buy it this morning, sell it this afternoon. They are finding stocks and buying and selling them fairly quickly to get big returns fairly quickly. That's an active income. That is not investing. People think that investing is just buying anything. No, that's an active income. If there's work that's going into it, work finding the stocks, work finding the properties, that is not investing. That's an active income. You can classify it as that, but ultimately it's an active income. Some more examples of an active income is what I do. Obviously, I invested money into my business, but that doesn't count as investing. That's an active income. I'm putting money in to then use skills to then make money. What I do, social media marketing, active income. E-commerce, an active income. Amazon FBA, you might invest in inventory, but no matter what, it's still an active income. And that's the difference between investing and an active income. You need an active income to become rich. You're not gonna do it just from investing. So now that we have those out of the way, let's talk about the math and why you'll never get rich with investing. I'm sure by now you guys have heard terms compound interest. Like I said, all of these people go crazy when they hear, ooh, compound interest, the power of compound interest. And I promise you that's more hyped up than it actually is. Is compound interest powerful? Yes. Here's the issue. It takes money to make money if you want to make a lot. So if I wanted to pay my rent strictly off of the interest of an investment, even if I'm getting 30% on that investment a year, I would still need to make quite a substantial amount. Let's say this place is $5,000 a month. I would need, considering that we're getting 30%, which is a pretty good amount for a yearly annual return, I would need $200,000 to return at 30% in order to make $5,000 a month to pay the rent for my condo. So that's why it's tough to make money and get rich through investments. Unless you have daddy or mommy that gives you $1 million to invest, most people are not going to be able to do that. I know with me personally, I didn't come from a rich background. My mom didn't give me anything, so I had to build it completely on my own. I didn't have 200 grand to invest to make 30%. If I was lucky, 30%. I'm sure by now you guys have also heard the stories, but my great uncle's dad's brother, he invested $8 when he was 19 and now he's a millionaire. Well, those people are relying on something way worse than having a large sum to grow their money. They're relying on their time. Just to give you an idea of how compound interest works, I did the liberty of pulling up a compound interest calculator. Let's say we were to invest $1,000. I feel like that's a good initial investment. We contribute $1,000 a month. Let's say we did that for 10 years straight. We're gonna do it at 30% interest. Again, I'm not sure how realistic this is. I feel like it's pretty generous. Maybe you finance bros can inform me more. And it's gonna compound annually. And we have our results. The results say in 10 years, we will have $525,000. Now, let's take that 500 grand over a decade and let's compare it to a business that I started just last year and see how much it's made. This business I started last year has generated about $300,000. Now, I'm not a math whiz, I'm not a genius, but if I were to ask you, would you take $500,000 over 10 years or would you take $300,000 in 1 year? Which one would you pick? And this is not an isolated example. I have other businesses that have done millions of dollars in revenue in such a short period of time, within the span of 2-3 years. Some of them have even reached 8 figures. When we're talking about the science of wealth accumulation, the numbers behind wealth accumulation, you cannot rely on a big amount of money or time to make you money. You have to find a way to create value from scratch. And the only way to do that is with a skill which turns into an active income or a business. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, Rene, I don't want to start a business. I'm not good at business. It's hard. And I understand that. This is why I also talk about an active income. If you want to get rich at a young age, an active income is very, very helpful as well. If you have a sales job, you can make a lot of money. If you're a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, the reason these professions become millionaires is because they have a high active income. They can make $100,000 to $200,000 a year, which they then can use to invest. Let's say I'm a doctor. I stack up, $500,000 within 4 or 5 years. And I save that money, I put it into an investment portfolio that grows 30% a year. That portfolio will be generating about $100,000 a year and continue to grow from there. You're making about $10,000 a month just from your portfolio alone on top of your job. The biggest issue with a lot of these professions though is it takes a while to get those jobs. It takes 8 years to become a doctor, 4 or 5 years to become an engineer, 6 years to become a lawyer. These high-paying professions require a lot of groundwork in order to get them. Whereas a skill or a business, you can start at any age. You can start at 18, you can start at 19, you started at 20. It doesn't really matter, which is why, in my opinion, it's the easiest way to get rich at a young age. This is why people that invest their money and they play it safe, they work at their job their entire life, they don't become millionaires until they're 40 or 50 if they're lucky. And the issue with this is they're never able to experience life in its entirety. I mean, I love having money, but what I love more is making sure that my bills are paid, living in my penthouse, being able to travel, being able to afford nice things. I enjoy this stuff. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, they don't get to experience it until they're 40 or 50. I saw something online and it made a lot of sense. It was a little chart and it said when you're a kid, you have a lot of time and energy, but you have no money. When you're an adult, you have a lot of energy and money, but you have no time. And then when you're old, you have a lot of time and money, you just don't have the energy anymore. And that's what happens with a lot of people. When they're young, they have all this time and energy. And then when they're an adult, they have all this energy and they have money, but they never have the time because they're always working and quote unquote investing. And then when they're old, they have the money from their investments and they have the time because they're retired, but they no longer have the energy to do it. And that's why I'm so heavy on getting rich at a young age. That way you have the time and energy and freedom to do things you want, to travel, to experience life, to have stories to tell your grandchildren. To conclude the video, is investing bad? No, it's not. But there is a big myth around investing that it's gonna make you rich, when in reality, most traditional investments are not gonna make you rich. Ultimately, it depends on you. It depends on what kind of person you are, what kind of life you want to live, and what your risk tolerance is. Because starting a business and active income is way, way harder than just putting money into an investment account and letting it multiply for you when you become old. But if you want to experience life while you're young, you have to create an active income or a business, because that's the only way, and I showed you the math, the only way that you're gonna be able to accumulate wealth very, very quickly. At the end of the day, it's really up to you. If you guys like this video, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that, get the algorithm on our side, and we're gonna keep it booming. Love you guys. Break rules, never make them. She act up, I replace her.